A few months ago, I made a video about Doomsday Preppers. You guys really seemed to like it, so ever since I wanted to make a follow-up video. But recently, I stumbled across a show named Doomsday Preppers, and when I sat down to watch it, I instantly knew I had to make a video for you guys. Every episode follows the day-to-day life of a self-proclaimed apocalypse survivalist, and explores the various ways they are preparing for the end times. But today, I just want to look at one man, named Mark.
I'm preparing for a foreign occupation of the United States of America. Everybody thinks America's safe. It's not safe. America's in trouble right now.
Whereas most preppers might be worried about a nuclear Armageddon, an economic collapse, or even Martian invasions, Mark instead worries about a different threat.
Mark believes that his home state is a direct target for one nation in particular.
So, Mark lives in the state of Georgia. If you had to guess which country might be a threat to the state of Georgia, you'd probably guess a country that's somewhat nearby, like maybe Cuba, Mexico, maybe England's gonna come try to take back its colonies, but you'd be very, very wrong.
Russia.
It's gonna be like Red Dawn.
Yes, Mark is worried about Russia invading the state of Georgia, and at first I thought he was confusing which Georgia he was talking about, but no. He thinks that a country millions of miles away is going to try to invade his suburban neighborhood.
I have 6 months of food stored in portable containers so I can leave in a moment's notice. I will always be able to provide for my family through hunting and trapping.
Think you can find me in the woods? Try it.
Now in the last video, we've seen other preppers stockpile food and ammo.
My name is Sam, and I consider myself a doomsday prepper.
Although the Viet Cong tunnel system is new. However, what separates Mark from other preppers is that he is also on the attack.
Mark is prepared to fight back and defend his home soil, but he won't do it alone.
I have some team members. We're all firefighters, EMTs. We train together. We pretty much live together every third day.
Mark has allied himself with two other expert survivalists. We have Jared, who is the muscle of the operation, and we have Eric, who doesn't really do much.
We're all getting firearms. We're gonna stick together as a team. If Russia wants to come in and invade us, good luck to them, because we have a team of trained, skilled athletes.
Athletes? The most athletic thing I've seen these guys do is sprint at a medium pace, which even an obese New York City police officer could do.
Chili dogs for hours.
We're gonna win as Americans, not Americans.
Honestly, not gonna lie, that quote goes very hard. Imagine if you wore that on a t-shirt. You'd be like the Jesus of every barbecue you'd ever go to.
Move it!
They have dubbed themselves the 33s, inspired by the fireman's code for a house fire.
So, are they the fire? Or, since they're firemen, maybe they're going to put out the fire? Honestly, I don't really understand what they're implying with, maybe the Russians are the fire, and they are going to extinguish them. Maybe that was pretty obvious, but you guys need to understand there's a very good reason why I'm making YouTube videos.
Clear.
Mark and his team of firefighting preppers are poised to take action to...
My man Jared looks like the most British man alive, and yet he lives in the suburbs of Georgia.
Day in the life of a true Brexit geezer.
I wonder if there's some cultural overlap there.
Brexit geezer. Brexit geezer.
But for their ultimate preparation, they're relying on an extreme wartime tactic, first mentioned thousands of years ago.
I'm building a Trojan horse to get behind enemy lines.
Now you may be wondering, Mark, what is this Trojan horse plan that you're talking about? Well, you're gonna have to wait to find out, okay? Because first, we need to figure out how to find a Russian. Because how can you use this Trojan horse on them if you don't know where they're at? But have no fear, because Mark has a plan for weeding out these Russian invaders.
When the Russians come over, the first thing that's gonna be funny to me is probably the way they talk, because they're not gonna be saying y'all. They ain't gonna be drinking a sweet tea. They're not gonna be eating biscuits and gravy. So we'll know right off the bat they're Russian. They're not one of us. They're not from Georgia.
So, if a person won't say y'all, won't drink sweet tea, and won't eat biscuits and gravy, you can be certain that they are a Russian hostile and must be eliminated immediately. Now that we know how to locate the Russians, we can focus on Mark's ingenious plan.
Looking for something that we can put our team up in. We can get our team in it. We can put our gear, supplies, ammo, guns, and we get behind enemy lines. Something where we're going to be closed up, but it won't be out of the way. Something like a Trojan horse. You have anything like that?
I think I do.
I don't know who this guy is, but I think it's so funny that he asks 0 questions this entire time. Like, imagine 3 guys pull up to this guy's shop and are like, I need to get behind enemy lines with a Trojan horse. And he's just like, yeah, I got you. What a bro.
They've selected an old propane tank for the body of the Trojan horse, and now Mark and the 33s are giving it a new paint job.
So Mark and his buddies are going to hide away in this propane tank in hopes that a Russian will walk by and be like, Sergey, look, American gas. We will take back to base and maybe use to cook on grill, yes? This. You know, because propane is only used for like 14 things, and none of which relate to war. Already seeing flaws in your plan there, Mark.
They're outfitting the Trojan horse so they can exit discreetly.
What we're doing, we're building a trap door on the trailer so when we set the tank up on it, it'll be easily removed, easily to get out of, and easily to put it back on.
So Mark and the team weren't satisfied with this propane tank just being a simple Trojan horse, so they decided to add some upgrades to make it double as a defensive structure. This tank is equipped with not only a trap door, but also spike traps and peek holes. Oh, and did I forget to mention the homemade smoke bombs?
Oh, man! They got a little squirrely on us, didn't it?
Now you might look at all this and be like, wow, good job, Mark, I guess you're ready to fight the Russians now. Well, no, you'd be wrong, because there's one final test. A test of mental fortitude.
But before this army of 3 feels it is ready to fight the Russians, they want to prove their individual mettle by going through a punishing round of tests.
33s!
Yep, Mark's gonna get waterboarded. I really want to know what his wife must think when he looks her dead in the eyes and says, see you later, darling. I'm going to go let my friends waterboard me in the basement.
We're going to have to be prepared mentally and physically for whatever arises, whatever situation. Because if any team member is captured and they're not mentally strong and they gather information through torture or interrogations, our whole team will be lost.
This team is like 3 middle-aged dads LARPing as the goal from the Fallout TV show. I really don't think you guys would be a primary threat to the Russians if they came stomping through Georgia, but let's say Mark is right, and he is captured by Russians and they go to interrogate him. What does he know? The location of the nearest Buc-ee's? Mark isn't some high-ranking military agent, he's just some guy. The Russians have no use for him, so I feel like he's just doing this for fun at this point.
International humanitarian law states that torture is strictly prohibited during an armed conflict.
Wait. So you're telling me there's literally no logical situation where Mark will be waterboarded, and yet he insists that he and his buddies go down in the basement and waterboard each other. At this point, just say it's sexual, because we all know it.
Don't freak out.
Yeah, he freaked out a bit. I wish other preppers were as committed as Mark, though. Like, he's literally over here getting tortured while the other preppers just talk about the things they're hiding away in their goon cave lair.
Alcohol, tobacco, baby formula and diapers, feminine and hygiene products. Like and follow, the more you know.
Not saying what he's doing isn't batshit crazy, but at least he has balls. Now that the team has been properly trained, Mark decided it was time to do a combat drill. A drill where they're going to hide away in their Trojan horse, and a random truck will pick them up in a Waffle House parking lot. From there, the vehicle will take them to an unknown location where Mark and Eric will have to plan an escape route so Jared can pick them up in his Jeep.
Location now.
Mark and Eric are being dropped in an unknown location in the city center. If a Red Dawn scenario occurred, Mark thinks that resources like fuel will be in high demand, making their propane tank the perfect bait to lure the Russian army.
I'm still really confused about this whole propane thing, because I thought propane was just used to heat grills. If anyone in the comments is part of the Russian army, let me know if propane would be something you'd be on the lookout for.
Jared has arranged for a city tow truck to act as the enemy. If Mark and Eric can escape from their Trojan horse undetected, he will bring them back to safety.
This is probably the lamest thing I've ever seen, but a part of me thinks it's really cool. If anyone gave me this opportunity to do this exact mission with Mark, I would totally do it. But regardless, I do hope the showrunners at least gave them some money to help them pay for this whole thing, because I could only imagine how much it would cost to hire some guy to do this.
Be advised, we're all clear. We're moving. 33s.
These are the faces of broken men. They look like they've been fighting in the Donetsk region in Ukraine for the past 10 years, but they're just suburban dads, and I think that's just funny.
Using the periscope mirror, they have assessed they are clear to exit the Trojan horse. And now, they must send a signal to Jared. They are making their way to the getaway vehicle.
Go, 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 go.
I'd like to imagine some guy just looking out of his window and seeing this entire thing unfold. There's red smoke rising from the ground and two men with guns just come barreling by it. It would be a little frightening, to say the least.
We were able to get behind enemy lines with a Trojan horse. It was nothing less than brilliant. It was executed perfect.
Nothing less of brilliant? Are you kidding me, dude? This guy thinks he's the shit. Like, Mark's just sitting here rambling on about how genius his idea is. Meanwhile, fucking Jared can't even keep eye contact with the camera. These guys honestly act like 13-year-olds just transposed into adult bodies, and it's a little depressing, but also really funny. But with that, Mark's journey comes to a close, and Georgia is safe from Russian invasions. I hope Mark is still out there fighting the good fight, protecting his local community from the evil Russian spies. I tried to look him up to see if there was any more information about what he's doing now, but I couldn't find anything on him. If you guys know anything, put it in the comments below. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.